My son, okay, I never see the shoes put like this. One on the floor, one in the dining room. Yeah. Wearing the white shoes, running around because he don't wash his own shoes.
Jaycee Chan. The name brings to mind dazzling stunts, martial arts mastery, and a career that made him a global legend. But behind the cameras, the action star's family story is far more complicated than the heroic characters he played on screen. Jaycee Chan has 2 children, Jaycee Chan and Etta Ng, and their journeys have been marked not by fame and fortune, but by struggle, controversy, and distance from the man the world idolized. Today we dive into the untold story of Jaycee Chan's children. Jaycee Chan, the global icon. Born in Hong Kong in 1954, Jaycee Chan's life story reads almost like one of his films. His parents were so poor that they considered selling him to a wealthy couple shortly after his birth. Instead, they sent young Jaycee to the China Drama Academy, a harsh boarding school where he trained for over a decade in martial arts, acrobatics, singing, and acting. Life there was grueling. Discipline was strict, training was relentless, and mistakes were met with punishment. But those hardships shaped Jaycee into the incredible stuntman and performer who would later take the world by storm. Starting as a stunt double for Bruce Lee, Jaycee eventually broke out with his own unique style, combining martial arts with comedy, creating breathtaking action sequences that looked dangerous because, well, they were. From Drunken Master to Police Story to Rush Hour, Jaycee not only redefined martial arts on screen but also became a global icon, earning fame, fortune, and millions of fans across continents. He became one of the very few actors to bridge the East and West successfully, headlining both Hollywood blockbusters and Hong Kong classics. Yet while his on-screen characters championed loyalty, honor, and family behind the camera, Jaycee's personal life was far more turbulent. Fame came at a cost, and it was his children who would pay much of that price. Jaycee Chan, the famous son. In 1982, Jaycee Chan married Taiwanese actress Joan Lin, a beloved film star in her own right. Their union surprised many, as Jaycee had once claimed he would never marry, fearing it would harm his career. Still, just 2 years later, their son Jaycee Chan was born. From the beginning, Jaycee's life was one of privilege. He was raised in Los Angeles, educated abroad, and had every door open to him. Yet being the son of Jaycee Chan was both a blessing and a curse. With wealth came expectations, and with a legendary father came an enormous shadow. Jaycee gravitated toward entertainment. He studied music, wrote songs, and eventually released albums in Mandarin and Cantonese. He also pursued acting, landing roles in both Hong Kong and mainland Chinese films. On paper, it looked promising. He had the looks, the talent, and the connections. But no matter what he did, critics compared him to his father. Jaycee's shadow loomed large, and Jaycee struggled to step out of it. Where Jaycee was known for discipline, resilience, and daring stunts, Jaycee's work often felt softer, less impactful. Audiences expected another Jaycee Chan, but Jaycee wanted to be himself. Still, the real turning point came not from his career, but from scandal. In 2014, Jaycee was arrested in Beijing for drug possession. Police found over 100 grams of marijuana in his apartment, and he was sentenced to 6 months in prison. The news rocked Asia. Jaycee Chan, who was then serving as an anti-drug ambassador for the Chinese government, was forced to publicly denounce his own son. Jaycee stated bluntly that he had failed to teach his son, and admitted he felt both anger and shame. The contrast between Jaycee's public image as a disciplined martial artist and his son's arrest was devastating. For Jaycee, it was a moment that shattered whatever momentum his career had left. After his release, Jaycee kept a low profile. He produced music for other artists, acted in smaller projects, and quietly rebuilt his life. At one point, he even tried returning to music with a softer, more reflective style, as if trying to show that he had grown. Yet the public's interest had moved on, and his reputation never fully recovered. Today, Jaycee remains distant from the industry that once expected him to carry on his father's legacy. His story is one of privilege, pressure, and the complicated bond with a father often absent from his upbringing. Etta Ng, the forgotten daughter. Jaycee Chan's family story doesn't end with Jaycee. In 1999, the world learned that Jaycee had fathered a child outside of marriage. The mother was Elaine Ng Yi-lei, a former Miss Asia beauty queen. Their daughter Etta Ng was born that same year. The revelation was a scandal. Jaycee himself admitted the affair, calling it a mistake that many men make. The comment sparked outrage, painting him as careless and cold. But for Etta, the consequences were far more personal. She would grow up without a relationship with her famous father. Raised by her mother, Etta's childhood was difficult. She spoke openly in later years about struggling with depression, financial instability, and feelings of abandonment. Unlike Jaycee, who grew up surrounded by wealth, Etta grew up largely in the shadows, burdened with the knowledge that her father had rejected her before she even had a chance to know him. Her relationship with her mother was also complicated. Reports suggest frequent clashes, and Etta herself once described her home life as unstable. The weight of being the forgotten daughter of a global superstar added fuel to her struggles. In 2017, Etta publicly came out as gay. A year later, she married her partner, Andy Autumn, a Canadian social media influencer. The marriage made headlines across Asia, but was not universally celebrated. Etta claimed that her family and much of Hong Kong society had turned their backs on them. In a heartbreaking video, she revealed that she and Andy were homeless, forced to live under bridges at one point. The couple later relocated to Canada, seeking a quieter life away from the spotlight, but Etta continued to speak out occasionally, sharing glimpses of her struggles with mental health and her determination to live authentically, regardless of her father's absence. Through all of this, Jaycee Chan remained silent. He has never played an active role in her life and has offered no public acknowledgement of her struggles as an adult. For Etta, her story is not one of glamour, but of resilience. The determination to define her own identity in the face of neglect and scrutiny. A complicated legacy, 2 children, 2 very different lives. Jaycee, the son born into privilege, pressured by fame, and haunted by scandal. Etta, the daughter born into controversy, left to fend for herself and defined by her independence from a father she barely knew. For Jaycee Chan, whose movies so often highlighted family loyalty, honor, and sacrifice, the reality of his family life paints a more complicated picture. His children's struggles reveal the painful truth that behind the superstar's dazzling smile was a fractured home life. Jaycee himself has admitted that his relentless pursuit of success often came at the expense of his family. In his autobiography, he confessed to infidelity, anger, and regrets. Yet he also rationalized his distance by saying he gave his family financial stability, even if he wasn't there emotionally. But money cannot replace presence. And for Jaycee and Etta, their stories show how absence leaves lasting scars, whether through impossible expectations or complete abandonment. Jaycee Chan's legacy in film is unquestionable. He is a pioneer, a trailblazer, and a global legend. But his personal legacy is far more complicated. His children's lives remind us that even icons are human, flawed, imperfect, and sometimes deeply disconnected from the roles they play on screen. Jaycee and Etta walk their own paths now, shaped forever by the shadow of a father whose name will always be larger than life. One tried to follow him and stumbled under the pressure. The other was left behind entirely, fighting to build an identity of her own. Their lives stand as reminders that even the brightest spotlight can cast the deepest shadows. But what do you think? Should Jaycee Chan have done more for his children, or were Jaycee and Etta always destined to carve their own separate journeys? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the untold stories behind Hollywood's legends, make sure to hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the real stories behind the stars. This was the untold story of Jaycee Chan's children.